Hey everyone, before we start, I just want to talk about Nautilus items and runes. And the first item that I would go for is Luden's Echo. Since we are building pure AP, this is the perfect item for Nautilus since it provides him with more AP, mana, ability haste, as well as damage, increasing his overall burst. This would also help him clear camps faster as well. Then the second item that I would go for is Horizon Focus. Not only does this item make Nautilus more tanky, it also provides him with more AP, ability haste, as well as a very important passive which Nautilus would be able to proc twice due to his skill set. Next item that I would go for is Steel-Plated Stasis. You could go for the Mercury Threads if they have a lot of crowd control, but if you have a good front line and you're snowballing a game, you could even go for the Ionian Boots so that your summoner spell's cooldown will be even lowered and you would be able to spam your skills more. Then we go with the Rabadon's Death Cap. This synergizes well with Nautilus' first two items, increasing his AP even more, allowing your burst to become even stronger, not only being able to one-shot squishy targets, but those targets that are a bit tankier as well. After this, we go with the Infinity Orb. This would grant Nautilus a bit of magic penetration as well as a crit when targets are low HP, and since Nautilus' abilities deal a lot of damage, combined with the crit, this would allow him to burst targets even though they have magic resist. Last item is a flex. You could go for the Void Staff if they have a lot of magic resist, or you could even go for the Abyssal Mask if they have a lot of AP in their team. And another alternative would be the Crystalline Reflector if they are more AD heavy. Going to the runes, the first rune that I would go for is Electrocute. This is the perfect keystone for AP Nautilus, and since we are building Burst, this has good synergy with the Luden's Echo, Horizon Focus, combined with the Electrocute would increase Nautilus burst by a lot, making him be able to burst targets easily. Second rune that I would go for is Triumph. This synergizes well with Nautilus Kit. If the opponents are at low HP, Nautilus would deal even more damage. It also gives Nautilus a bit of sustain. Once you're able to burst down a target, he would get some of his HP back. Then the third rune that I would go for is Hunter Titan. This not only grants Nautilus more HP, it also gives him more tenacity just in case you get crowd controlled. This would decrease the duration of the stuns and slows. An alternative rune for this would be Ultimate Shield. This synergizes well with Nautilus ulti, and since you would want to be in the front lines during team fights, this would give you a bit of tankiness, allowing you to last longer in a fight. Then the last rune that I would go for is Pathfinder. Since Nautilus specializes in roaming, this synergizes well with him, allowing him to rotate much faster in the map. He also gets additional HP and mana when out of combat, which is important for this champion. An alternative rune for this would be Mastermind. Since Nautilus can solo objectives pretty quickly, this would increase his solo potential even more and grant him more gold when he clears these objectives. So that is it for Nautilus items and runes, and I will see you guys in game. Going to the game, I'm going to be showing you the potential of AP Nautilus and how OP he could be in game. In this matchup, we're currently up against Kayn, and in a Nautilus versus Kayn, this is advantageous for the Nautilus in the early game due to his strong ganks, but once we get to the late game, this would favor Kayn because of his late game scaling potential. So what we want to do is try to be active as much as possible, trying to gank our lanes and not allowing Kayn to go for a free scale. The clear that I'm doing here is going to be a full clear, and I would want to get my level 5 as fast as possible so that my ganks will be a lot stronger. Usually I would always start opposite of the Baron lane because the Baron lane is the easiest lane to gank most of the time, but if there are other potential lanes that you would be able to go for, then you could go for that lane as well. So for the blue side, I would be going for a red side clear, but in the red side, I would be going for a blue side clear since they are the opposite camps of the Baron lane. Nautilus clear is quite simple. The only thing that you need to do here is auto attack before using the second skill because he has an animation cancel. So if you go for an auto attack second skill, then he has a faster clear. And Nautilus clear overall is a lot faster than your traditional junglers ever since the recent buff. Going to the Wolves, I would usually go for 4 camps before going for the Scuttle because the Scuttle is very important for Nautilus so that he would be able to get level 5 as soon as possible. Because if I go for a full clear before going for the Scuttler, then there's a potential that they might take it. And I see a fight that's happening mid, so I try to help my team. I went for 2 points on the third skill because I would want to focus on farming, but since there's an early game fight that's happening, I try to focus to help my team, get an auto attack reset onto the Karma, Alistar does a great job with the head foot pulverize. My hook hits a creep, but overall, it's a 1-for-1 trade, which is quite good. Now I go back and clear my camps. Looking for the Scuttle. Smite it for more mana. I wanted to go for the blue buff, but I see that Garen is overextended. We try to go for a hook as soon as I see Garen flash. Really clean kill. Darius gets it, and this would give us level 5. As I said earlier, our win condition is to become as active as possible in the map so that Kayn would not be able to scale freely. And the more ganks that we do, the harder for Kayn to carry the later stages of the game. And as you could see, Nautilus clear is very fast, and this would only become faster once you get your Luden's Echo. The skill that I max here is his third skill rather than the first skill, because this would be placed in quite a low cooldown when maxed, as well as grant him more damage, especially when going for the objective. So Garen, I think, got disconnected a bit. We go for the punish. I know that he has no flash from earlier. Immediately get another kill before going back. And usually what you want to do is try to always use Nautilus ulti when off cooldown. When Nautilus ulti is on cooldown, that's when you would want to clear camps. And when it's off cooldown, it's quite easy to gank lanes. All you need to do is ultimate and then use your hook once your ultimate hits so that your hook wouldn't miss. Kayn does a great gank topside, gets a kill onto the Darius. But it's okay since we currently have a 100% kill participation, and with the Ludens up, we clear the camps pretty fast now, making us be more active in ganking rather than just farming our own camps. Now that my ultimate is up again and the camps are cleared, I look for any potential ganks. Mid lane is a bit overextended. I could go for a flash ultimate, and I wanted to go for a hook, but there are creeps. I think it's worth it trading my own flash for Nasus Ghost and Flash, because it's a 2-for-1 spell exchange, and I just go back to farm my own camps. Garen has the potential to become extended, but I think is quite scared. Plus, I think it's also warded as well, so I just go and ward the opposing camps. Look for another gank. Alistar does a great full head foot pulverize with a comet as well. Comet and then smite plus third skill. We secure the kill and get another good gank off. My ultimate is up and the objectives are spawning, so I go home and to buy my items, get my boots plus Phoenix Codex, increasing my overall burst. With the dragon spawning, I would want to be in position to catch any possible targets. Nasus is quite tanky, so I don't go for him. I look for the Karma because he's the squishiest out of all of them, and my burst just puts Karma into 1 HP. Kayn as well, proccing my passive. So what I'm just doing is I'm just hitting them once so that they would get staggered and my team would be able to follow up on my crowd control. Now this opens up a free dragon, and with Nautilus, one thing about this is that when you have Luden's Echo and you max your third skill, the damage of this skill on objectives would deal about 400, so your smite range would be really strong, and it's gonna be hard to lose a smite fight against other junglers because all you have to do is third plus smite, and it's similar to Kha'Zix's execute. Garen free farming topside. I try to cover the tower, but the creeps are cleared, so I go for the Rift Herald instead. I see that Garen is still trying to push top. I'm thinking about whether to go for the defense or just clear the Herald. In the end, I just decide to take the Herald because the opponents are not yet in position to contest. So we try to get this, combine my third skill plus smite, easily secure the Rift Herald, and once the opponents are out, burst the Kayn down. Vayne is out of position. Look for the hook. Once our hook hits, immediately burst the Vayne, and we have Rift Herald to spawn on the mid side. With 3 plates remaining, we would be able to get the tower there. Even though we didn't get the first tower, it's well worth it because not only are we able to destroy their mid, we're also able to get 3 kills. What I'm doing right now is just clearing my camps before going back because all of my camps are up, and with Nautilus fast clear, I would be able to clear them pretty easily. With the top side clear, I look to go for my red and possible raptors before going back. Diana gives me the raptors, which is quite good, and once I'm able to recall, this would allow me to purchase Horizon Focus, which would amp my burst even more. So after finishing the Krugs, I see that Alistar is looking for a gank, and even though I have an item that I could purchase, I look to go for a gank since my team is in a good position, my ultimate is up as well, and I could go for a burst on any of the targets. We immediately hook Vayne, get an ulti off onto the Karma, and get 2 kills. So you don't have to buy your item. If there's a lane that you could potentially gank, you would always want to go for that before going back to the base. And this is perfect timing because my ultimate is off cooldown and I'm able to buy my item. And another thing that you want to notice is that the cooldown of my ultimate is quite low once it's level 2. As you could see, it's gonna be up in 10 seconds and I just used it about 30 seconds ago. 5 seconds in the clock, we try to look for the Nasus, but once he uses the ghost, we can't chase him down, so we just go back. With 2 items, my burst becomes really high. Look to hook the Kayn, but he has a lot of escape skills, so I don't want to risk anything. Look for another gank. Nasus pokes us with the 3rd skill. I think he's building AP, and it might be warded. That's why the opponents are not going close. I missed my hook because Kayn is quite near the obstacle, and it's quite hard to hit him with that. But it's okay. What I'm doing right now is looking for any potential ganks. Put a ward in the side. Look to hit the Nautilus, and with the Horizon Focus, look at the burst that I'm doing. I just one-shot the Nasus, Ash Arrow just cases it, and this is where Nautilus would shine once you're able to get the Horizon Focus. Because if you combine the Electrocute plus Ludens, and then you have 2 stacks of Horizon Focus, this would give you a lot of damage. Another fight happens at top. We burst down the Kayn, putting him really low. Even though he has ultimate, we just go for the chase. Our hook is up again. Get the hook into the Kayn. Dive the Garen and get 2 kills. Really good play from my team, and this would give me even more money. What I'm thinking is if I should go for the Stasis or I should go for the Rabadons. Since we have a lot of frontline, I don't need to go for Stasis. Usually I would only go for Stasis if my team is all squishy and I'm always the first one to go in. But in this game, we're snowballing quite well, and we have a lot of frontline with Darius, Alistar, and Diana, so I don't need to go for a Stasis 3rd item. With the objective spawning in 25 seconds, my Rabadon is up. I just want to go for a ward, look for any possible targets, and this is where I could burst anyone, even the tanky targets. This is where AP Nautilus becomes really fun to play, especially when you have flash up. What I'm doing right now is just clearing my camps, and another thing that you could do with Nautilus is use your hook to try to become a bit faster when roaming around the map. Because if your hook hits an obstacle, it would reduce the cooldown, making it a lot faster to spam. And with all of the abilities that I have, this is pretty easy to get. A fight happens into the Rift Herald. I look for the squishy target, go for the hook flash onto the Vayne, burst him in 1 combo. My 3rd skill's cooldown is quite fast, deal a lot of damage even though their Nasus is a bit tanky and their Garen as well. We go for the cleanup. They're able to get Rift Herald, but getting all of these objectives gives us the win, and with the jungler only 1 left, we go for the dragon. Overall, it's a 1-4-4 trade, and this forces the opponents to surrender, showing you the potential of AP Nautilus. 95.59% onto Grandmaster. We get MVP, perfect score 5-0-12, and looking at the damage, 13k, most damage dealt, even more than the carries, and this is how strong AP Nautilus could be. And I hope you guys enjoyed our Nautilus tutorial, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Ciao, ciao.
I'm finally facing it all, fearless.